because I'm looking at the this meeting is being live streamed. Propel Q&A. Because I'm looking at the okay.
But
Yeah, it's on live, so
yeah, it is. So it's going to be on somewhat a little bit of a delay, I think.
it is, but it is. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, agreed. I'm just trying to see how far it is. Look at that. All right, you want to throw the link up on the story?
Yeah. Can't do it.
Okay. You want to throw the link up on the story? Yeah.
3 people watching. Here we go. Live chat.
Yeah, you throw it up there.
4 people watching. I'm throwing it on there real quick.
I bet. Oh, I lost you, big dog.
You lost me? Okay, shit.
It's just me. Oh, it's probably just because you're using another app.
Yeah, no, I'm be on there. Just give me a second. You can hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? If you're watching, we're going to get started here in just a second. We're waiting for a couple people to get back over here too. So we'll be starting in just a second. So you can actually start typing your questions in already. We're just going to do like let you guys ask us whatever questions you want, and we'll try the best we can to answer them. So if you got some questions, throw them in the chat.
Yeah. You hear me still?
Yep.
Okay. I'm about to be on there.
Already, we're just gonna do like let you guys ask us whatever questions you want. We'll try the best we can to answer them. So if you got some.
Fantastic. Oh, one guy likes it. There we go. I like it.
All right. Yeah, I can't see you, big dog, on the YouTube now.
I think it shows me.
Okay, yeah, it does now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And yeah, I'm just gonna see if this chat works. You see that on the chat?
Yep. I got you.
Yeah. We're just gonna chill here. But anyways, I have my pick to win the College World Series.
You have it in?
Yeah, it's I've got Tennessee winning it. I saw their pitching staff. It's just pitching ninja just keeps posting videos
Crazy,
of them.
isn't it? How many arms they have?
Yeah, it's insane. It is berserk.
It really is.
Mm.
It's insane, man. All right, hold on just a second, y'all. I'm gonna go get one piece of something real quick, and I'll be right back.
Got any questions? Just put it in the chat to the side box. There's a chat box, and you can throw any questions that you have regarding anything really. Whether that's mental, mechanics, it's all free game. So
Okay, what's up, y'all? Back. Sorry, I had to do a couple of things, and all that. So, what's up, y'all? How's everything going? How's the season going, man? We'd love to just kind of answer some questions for y'all about anything, really, man. Just like the season, swing questions or anything like that, right? And if anything like that would be good. We'd love to kind of hear from you guys, and just go from there. So so I think I was gonna kind of have Tristan lead off with this a little bit and kind of say just talk about that beginning part of the season, right? So like whether you started out hot or you started out cold, like what's like TK, what are some things that in all the years and all the beginnings of seasons that you had, what are some of the things that you learned about how to weather the storm as the beginning of the season?
Yeah, for sure. So one thing is the opening series, it doesn't ultimately determine what's going to happen throughout the entire season, whether you start off hot, whether you start off cold, because it's a long season. So obviously you'd want to start off hot, but if you're starting off cold, there's nothing to worry about really. It's actually about fine tuning, and if you figure it out, like if you start off hot, write it down, write stuff down that works, and try to keep that consistent throughout the season. But it's a long season, and you have the ability to basically find out a lot about yourself within the first couple games. And whether that's bad, then you have time to solve those problems. And if it's good, write those down and try to maintain that as best as possible, because really that's what I see with a bunch of the really good guys in the league, like being able to maintain that flow of things and being able to just consistently stay at that level. So if you start off hot, write it down and just stay there. Start off cold, find that solution and you know what's going wrong. So
yeah, that's good. And I think that I think what's most important, right, is like the information is really important. The information, finding, identifying, collecting the information is really important, right? But then like we've got to translate it into the game, right? And translate it into how we play, right? Because the biggest thing is like we love hitting, right? We're obviously like big time hitting guys, right? But like, hitting, we hit well so we can win the game, right? We want to play. We want to be able to play well. We want to be able to have success, right? There's nothing like, I think a couple people, we were talking about like college baseball, right? And like what it is and just different things like that, right? And like, I was like, man, the whole thing about college baseball, right, is like you get to compete, right? Like there's nothing like that, competing. One guy, like on the mound, in the box, like there's nothing like that. And when you get done playing baseball, whenever that is, like it's very hard to emulate that, right? I think that especially baseball players, but we're just like drill junkies, right? And so like that's something to just like never take for granted, whether you're 9 or whether you're 29, right? Like never take for granted what that is and understand that we are trying to go, and trying to find the information so we can relax and compete and win in the game, right? Because that's the whole reason we play, is to compete and to win, and then that in turn helps us have fun, right? And then we have enjoyment and all these other things, right? But like, it's not just about the mechanics. It's not just about this, right? It's like, it's fine. In my opinion, drills are just bridges, right? They just build gaps between, or they fill gaps between like where I'm at and where I want to be, where I need to be, right? And so like I think that's the biggest part, right? Is like just understanding that like that's what we're trying to find, but it's like understand that the bridge is not the only thing that you're trying to get to, right? The bridge is something you cross and then you keep moving, right? Yeah. So a lot of times we get stuck on drills or this or whatever, right? But we've got to continue to understand that the bridge is a bridge, right? So walk over it, get past it, and go, right? And so like I think it's super important. And we just got to keep it that way and understand that, right? So
how do you translate, say, something you're feeling in practice or in the cages to the game?
Yeah, I think that's what we struggle with the most, right? Is translating things. Because like, yeah, it's just, I think the biggest thing is you've got to understand that you're not there to fix one problem, right? You're there to find a solution. You're there to build in a new habit, build into a new movement into how you already move, right? And so like keeping things as simple as possible, even while you're fixing things, I believe is super, super important, right? Because like, it doesn't really, you can light it up in the cage, man, but like we got to translate. We got to translate. So one of the ways that I've found success with myself, but then other people, right, helping them get there is like, don't look at the cage as where transformation happens, right? Look at the cage as something where now I can feel it. And now I've done some work to convince my brain to trust this, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah.
And so I think
I'll speak on that just a little bit too. Also, because it's feel versus real too.
Yes.
Like relating it to the game. So your feels in the cage is not going to be the same as your feel in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously try to like translate it as much as you can into the cage.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to be the same as the game. So I think that big thing about the game, translating it to the game, is finding that feel in the game that really, really works. Find that type of cue, whether that's just, I've got to pump my heel right before this and then I'm good. Or finding that type of feel in game, and that'll allow you to translate in the game. You can work that feel and work the mechanics in the cages, but finding that in-game feel is like hella important.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that so the way I would describe it, right, is you need to feel things differently in the cage, right? Wherever you're working, you need to feel those things. Okay. But then like your feel or your cue that you take into the game is something simple and smaller, right?
Yes.
Because we don't have time to think about all of the other stuff, right? So like there's different parts of it, right? Like finding that is really good, but then also, right, like we need to find a cue that's maybe 1 to 3 words or one simple movement or whatever it is that just gets us right there immediately. We get it. We know we need to feel. Now I can just relax, see, clear, go. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a piece that a lot of people miss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's Michael. That's good, man. That's a great question. So question is, how do you stay focused and calm in times where you need to perform? I believe that this is a great question. And I think that if you talk to 100 people, you get 100 different answers, right? So let me give you a couple practical things. And then TK can probably give you some on that too, because TK was really good in the clutch. The first thing that I would say is preparation, right? You've got to know that you are prepared for that moment. And that comes from, in my opinion, hundreds and hundreds of hours of prep, but then also a mindset of, I believe in and trust my preparation. Okay, that'd be the first thing. I would say, secondly, it would be something that takes you out of the moment, right? Because if we, what I mean by that is takes you out of the gravity of the moment, right? I think that some people it's controlling the breath, right? Like an easy thing to think about that is, 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out, right? And they've proven, right? I'm not just making this up, but they've proven psychologically, physically, anatomy wise, that like if you take 6 breaths that are 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out, it will completely reset your brain and completely relax you with what you're doing. Okay. So now in a game, do you have time to do that? No, but if you can catch a couple before you step in the box as you walk up, if you can get 2 or 3 of those three ins, 3 outs, it's going to help you. Right. And then also, like I would say, lastly, like we had a guy, Nick Osborne, come on our college growth group the other day, talked about this, right? He said, because he was like, man, I was really good in the clutch, right? Guy played at Tennessee Tech, like got drafted, did all this stuff, right? He was like, man, what helped me was like, I would look over in the dugout and I would look at my boys and I would just kind of nod my head, right? And that would just kind of like take me out of the seriousness of the moment. And it would just be like, I got this. He's like, and then I would just step in and I had it. I knew that I had it. And so I think like those are all types of things that can help find that for you, right? But it's like the thing that I'll say, right, is everybody likes to talk about Michael and everybody likes to talk about Kobe. Now, they made some of the most shots in NBA, game-winning shots in NBA history, right? But they also are in the top tier of missed game-winning shots in NBA history, right? So understanding, right, that you're going to miss and it's okay, right? But stay where your feet are, stay in that moment. Don't think 27 steps behind or 27 steps in front. Stay where your feet are, stay in that moment, give yourself some breath, refresh the brain, and just compete like you always compete. And so I think that that's advice, right? So TK, I'd love to kind of hear your perspective on that, right? Like you were definitely a big time
Yeah.
clutch guy. So what
So
advice would you have on that?
two things. Speaking about kind of taking yourself out of there too, you can actually there's something that I did. It was you would take yourself and look at yourself in like a third person view, basically. And like, what do you want that guy to look like? What do you want him to look like? Because if he's looking sporadic, if he's looking nervous on the field, what does that guy from a third person standpoint of view look like? Approach wise, kind of at the box, slowing down your feet, everything starts to speed up when the game kind of gets on the line, or when you need to perform, like shit starts to kind of speed up. And slowing your feet down, controlling your feet, have a big impact on your swing. So if you can control your feet, slow down the feet, slow down the game, and be able to really lock in and focus, then that's a big time cue. So,
Yeah, that's good, man. I think that it's really like people try and shrink it down, or people trying this, or people trying that, and it's like I think from listening to a bunch of people, having some success at it myself, having some failure at it in myself, I believe what it comes down to is like the people that succeed the most in those moments boil that moment down to very similar things that they've done 100 million times before. And it's just the same. It's just competing, right? And it's just I've done all this, I do all this for this moment. And like the and I think so like this is a simple example, right? But it's just a way to a point of relation. Okay. So like I've got a guy that's kind of a younger guy, he's like barely in junior high, right? And he was like, um he essentially came in and was like, hey man, how do I ask a girl for her number? And he's like, I'm super scared. I don't know how to do it, right? And essentially, like we talked about some stuff, right? Like typical stuff with that, right? Like different things. And I looked at him, I was like, what you've got to decide is if the fear of going up and talking to her is more scary than the fear of you not getting her number, or the fear of you not having what you could have if you ask her. And so like if you can't get over that, then don't do it. But what I would ask you is, what's the worst that she's going to say? No, right? And then we talked about that. Same with this premise. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to let your team down. You're going to strike out. You're going to fail. You're going to all those things, and that sucks. But all things that you can recover from, all things that you can get up and do again, right? And so, like, I think that it just really is getting in those situations enough, right, to where it's not intimidating. You're not having to tread new ground. And so like that plus like I can recover from all of this. So I'm just going to go compete. That's all I'm going to do, is I'm just going to go compete. And I think that that's something that really can really help, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. He said, thanks, fellas. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Favorite guy to watch in the MLB today?
What's yours?
I've got probably two or three. So, and I'm going to go two mainstream, one kind of under the radar.
Okay.
So my mainstream ones are Tatis and Trout.
Mm-hmm.
I could put Ohtani in there, but I'm not going to do that. And then my low key guy is Kevin Kiermaier. I kind of rock with how he plays. He plays pretty hard, and he's a hella defender. He's he's a big part of the that race squad. So
yeah, I like that. I like that. I would say for me, like, right, it's always hard, right? Because I would think like mainstream guy would probably say Mookie, just because I know how hard he works, and I love his swing and what he does, and just how he walks and how he carries himself and stuff like that. So that'd probably be my mainstream guy. I've got a lot of guys that are kind of under the radar, right? I'm a big Justin Turner fan,
of course,
because of his humility, right?
Yeah.
Also love Evan Longoria. I think Evan Longoria is has an amazing swing.
Yeah.
I think that he got not missed, right? But he was on so many Rays teams that were just kind of, overlooked because, Tampa's never really been a big market for baseball. And so, and I love him. And obviously, like, I love Miggy, right? And JD, Donaldson, and Martinez, right? But those are a lot of guys that I watch and I learn from. I modeled my swing once I started like messing with my swing. Like I looked at Evan Longoria a lot, same body type, same feel. So I'm very narrow like him still and stuff. So those are the ones that I like personally.
Yeah. Okay. And also kind of piggybacking off of that, who do you think has the best swing like in the league right now?
That's a great question. Man. I think that's super. I think that's super.
It's pretty broad. I mean,
yeah, and everybody kind of has their style, right? Like what they like to watch. I would say the person that I can watch the most is probably Mookie or Cabrera. Probably, I watch them a lot. Yeah. I watch JD all the time. That doesn't Donaldson. That like I watch Donaldson all the time. That doesn't really count, right? Because he I learned so much from him, like just watching him and listening to him and stuff. And so yeah, I watch JT a lot too. I just watch people. I like Buster Posey, man. I'm gonna miss Buster Posey. Like I low key watch that. Watch them a lot, man.
Yeah, I mean Mookie's is insane. Just the way his body like. How small he is and how efficient his movements are. And then I like Bryce Harper's swing a lot.
Yeah, dude, it's hard to not like Bryce, man. Like, especially with how he's matured and
his new swing is sexy. Yeah,
it is, man. Like, it's just sexy, man. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Honestly,
we got another question from Michael.
Yeah,
you want to read it?
Yeah. So I'll just for everybody else, like if you're not looking at the chat, Michael just said, I'm a freshman in college and had to redshirt this year due to injury. I understand the you versus you philosophy, but still at times I tend to get caught up on my own competition. On the team performs, how can I cut that out and just stay within myself? My belief is strong and I trust my skills, but when this happens, I feel I try to prove too much and push instead of just staying calm and letting it happen. That's really good. That's really honest, and man, I appreciate that. So, the first thing that I would say is like, like truly embracing failure is not a personal attack is hard and it's constant, and you'll never stop growing in that. So, what I would encourage you with is there's not a point that you get to where you just get it all figured out, where all the stuff and there's no it. Okay. It's a constant deal. And so what I would also say is there's a word in there, right? So this is the psychologist part of me. This is the brain science part of me, right? That comes out, but it says, I feel like I try to prove too much. Okay. So essentially, proving myself and belief in myself do not go together, right? So like they're separate. So in some vein, in some way, there's fear of screwing it up. There's fear of, whatever it is, right? And so you don't have to prove anything, right? And that's hard. That's really, really hard to believe, right? But the thing is, like, you're there, so like it's been proven. Now you're looking for opportunities to win, right? And like you may get it and you may fail. Okay. But like, I mean, man, I can't tell you how many times we talked about in our college group, right? Like guys lost their starting spots. They started it this year and now they come in and they're not starting, right? But what we always tell them is play with mental reckless abandonment, right? Like not holding anything back, not anything like that, because your opportunity is going to come. You don't know when, you don't know where, you don't know how, and that's hard. Truthfully, that's really, really difficult. But like, if you can get there and understand that, then like, even if you fail, look for that. Look for the next opportunity of like, it's just a different mindset. When you are constantly looking for, okay, like, how can I improve? How can I do this? How can I do that? Like, and talking it out with people and growing with people, it'll just help, right? And you may fail the next time, and you may fail the time after that, and you may fail the time after that. But one of the things that you can do, right, in PP, in and out, in whatever, compete with the guy next to you. Joey Lewis says that all the time. It's like, man, we were betting $10 that, hey, on this round, I'm going to hit the most barrels right here. Right. So it's just like getting used to that. Right. And then something that I found very successful for my own self is put pressure in the room and get used to it. Right. If pressure's there, it's a good thing. It means you're in the right spot and a spot that matters. Right. So put pressure in the room, give it a name, look at it until it's you're not going to win. Right. Put it in the room and understand that like the presence of that is going to be here and I'm fine with it. Right. Like I'm not going to let it it's not a surprise that you're here. Right. Pressure is a privilege. Right. TK says that all the time. Pressure is a privilege. Okay. Yeah. And so like if you're feeling that pressure, good. Put it in the stands and say, hey, dude, just like literally just get used to the presence of pressure. When you get used to the presence of pressure, you're not intimidated by it. Okay. So like that would be I would just start down that path, right? You're not going to be able to get to that point immediately, but start down that path of, whatever it is, put pressure on yourself in BP, put pressure on yourself in whatever, but just put pressure in the room and ignore it and move on. Then you get used to these pressure filled moments and it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that too. When you're focusing on your competition, you're not really focusing on dominating the sector at hand. And that's what you were really trying to do. So I'm going to advise you, I'm going to challenge you right here to write down the 25 best ways so that you can dominate your sector. Write down the 25 ways that you can most efficiently dominate your sector, quickest way you can do those, and focus on the 5 that are in your eyes the most important. And that's it. Write down 25, then circle out the next 5 that are the most important and focus solely on those 5. You'll be more surprised than not what you can achieve. So
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a big thing, right? Like instead of looking, side to side, right? Look where you're going, right? Look at that point, right? Where I want to be. Look at the end pointer, look at the checkpointer, look at that, right? And what you need to do. Right? I don't know if you ever run, but what you need to do to make sure that you run a 6-minute mile. What you need to do to win this opportunity that you're going to have with the pitcher, right? What you need to do to X, right? That's one of the biggest things is, and you can take that wherever. Like TK and I talk about that in our other businesses too, right? It's like, don't I'm not necessarily worried about the competition, to be honest, right? Because I don't think they can do it as good as me. So it's like, man, like I'm here. I'm going this way. I'm going this way. I'm going this way, right? Like I don't care if I don't care. There might be things that you're better at me. Cool. I'm still going to win. I believe that I'm going to win. Even when I don't win, I still believe that I can win. right? And so like that I think that's a big point. Like, don't get stuck looking side to side, or what about this person behind. And it's hard, right? It's hard, but it's
Mhm.
like then you're trying to perform or outperform instead of produce.
There was a social exercise that I like to do whenever I wanted to apply pressure on myself, and it was outside the box and maybe a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say extreme, but um, I'd go to the mall with a couple of my boys and just go and talk to the finest girl that you can see, and just like who knows what happens, but uh there's something about kind of going up to that girl at the mall and your heart starts racing and
Yep.
you have to remain calm or else you're going to look like an idiot, right? But even if like that first time that you do that, it's then you'll be like, you know what, that wasn't so bad, because I mean she'll reject you or whatnot if you're like stuttering or stuff, but um you can do that type of exercise to go to the mall or practice applying pressure on yourself to simulate into the game too.
Agreed.
Just something outside the box.
I like that, man. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I think that's anything that you can find that's like that just simulates that pressure of, it helps, right? It just allows you to get used to it, allows you to call it a name, allows you to whatever, right? So I think that's great, man. I think that's really
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
Yeah. So what was, I guess, like real quick, TK, what was kind of like your pregame, like before BP, right before the game? What was your routine that kind of like got you ready mentally to just like be ready to
Yeah.
ball?
So my ideal and at my top is I would always go and get a Shalatsky sandwich. I remember that. It was the bacon sandwich just to start off. And I would work the first 2 rounds going oppo solely. And then those next 3 rounds, I would stroke it. I loved listening. I had a pregame playlist and it was specified and customized to me. And I thought that was super important to be able to customize your preparation, being able to make that customizable rather than just all in one inclusive, but like as like a team. But I love the personal customized preparation. So I had a playlist to me, and I always looked at the best swings of myself right before the game. And I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Just envisioning, literally self visioning myself getting hits, getting homers, blah, blah, blah. And that really, really helped me out, is just visually seeing it on my phone. This is what I can do, and this is what I will do today. And that was huge preparation. I always took some BP in the cages too, but it wasn't too much. It was just something to feel right before the game, and then I'd be going and good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. Yeah, baseball's a mental game, and so it's something where like you've got to just be able to stay in a mindset for as long as possible, right? So I think that's why like like certain people certain people equate this to Einstein. I don't know if it's true or not, right? But like people would say like brilliant people wear the same clothes every day, like white shirt, blue pants, black shirt.
Yeah, look at Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve Jobs, right?
Man,
and one of the reasons they say that,
or not tank top, black turtleneck every single day.
And like one of the reasons I've heard them say that they do that is it's one less decision that I have to make. So now I can fly through the morning, and the morning is routine, or the before the game is routine, and then
that's funny,
right?
Marco, me and Marco were talking about this today, and we were just like, dude, the game is hard. It really is. It's like not necessarily just like, there's like a game inside the game, and being able to like just maintain that throughout the entire season there's always these ups and downs. Like the season's never like this, like statistical wise. Like you need to be right here, but like it's so volatile with the numbers and going here. Just being able to stay right here throughout the entire. It's tough, but that's what you need to do is just be able to stay right here because you're gonna have those great games, and then you're gonna have those 05s, and then you're gonna have those great games, and you just want to be able to maintain that flow. But the game itself, it's a hard game.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And the quicker we embrace that, the better, Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing I'll encourage y'all with, right? Is understand that, embrace that, but then even hear what TK said right there, right? Is like, I was talking with Marco, right? So make sure that you find people to be able to do this with, right? And if you're a college guy, like hit us up about our college group. Like I'm telling y'all, like the past 4 or 5 days, man, it's been crazy to see these group chats, right? Like text long, like this long, hey, try this, I've tried to feel this will help here, blah blah blah. So like, just like, man, like don't
people
do this
really starting to click. People starting to click. People are just being super collaborative.
Yeah,
and it's just awesome to see. It's just awesome to see.
It's just, you can get real lonely in baseball real fast. And so if we can, if that, we don't want that for you, right? We don't want you to get lonely. So if that's the
it's
deal,
the most self-esteem like killing sport of all the sports. Like it's so isolated. It's just kind of sometimes it can be super depressing.
Agreed.
And you got to have that type of group. It's just awesome seeing our group, the guys in there and they're collaborating with each other, and it's super cool. And if you have any interest in it, just
let us know.
We'll
let us know, because man, that's the last thing we want is for you to be alone. So I'm
gonna attach the link actually right now, Cam.
Yeah, do
that.
Do it, absolutely. So anybody else got any more questions? If not, totally cool. Just wanted to make sure we gave one more shot before that. But yeah, super excited for y'all in the season and all. Like I said, if you're a college guy watching this, like hit us up, man, like about our college group. Like really excited about how it's progressing, and man, like the guys we've had on have been super crazy. Like another guy that's going to be on is mind blowing and geeky for me, right? The next couple weeks.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be cool.
So I'm selfishly like super excited about the next guy that's going to be
cool.
on. So
I'm gonna attach the link in the chat. So if anyone's interested in that,
cool.
I actually put that on my True Fan. Yeah, whatever. You have the gist. It's right there.
Cool.
In the chat.
So I'll put it in the comments as well, in the description, so you guys can have it. And just hit us up if you got questions, man. Hit us up if you got questions in general, man. We're out here trying to help y'all. That's what that's what we're.
Yeah, I know. This is all a great game. We're gonna try and do these more often too. Don't get me wrong. It's obviously a lot more collaborative and much more in depth in the like college groups and the coaches groups, but we're here to help everyone out and be super transparent with everyone. So that's the big thing.
I'm just trying to help, right? We just want people to have what we didn't, right? Because that's the thing, man. It's lonely, right? Baseball can be lonely and frustrating, or it can be really exciting at the same time, right? So
yeah, you ain't gonna get a high better than going 4 for 4 with a bomb.
That's right. I love it. That's right.
But, yeah, I mean, we can stay on here for probably 2 more minutes.
Yeah, something like that. I'm good with that. If y'all got like I said, y'all got any more questions, throw them at us. If not, that's okay. But yeah, man, we're gonna start doing this more often. So you got stuff, man, write it down, and we'll try our best. And even if you want to send us a swing or something like that, man, when we do these things, if y'all will send them, we can probably even look at it on this and kind of talk about it, talk through it, and try and help y'all out. So that's at least how I look at it. So, but that's all I got, man. You good?
I'm good. Yeah, I appreciate it. It was cool. I really enjoyed all the questions that we had. So
Great,
stay
great
tuned.
questions, and
Yeah.
keep grinding, baby. Baseball is fun. Let it be fun, right? Let it be
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Feel free to reach out to us, and yeah, we'll talk soon, everybody.